and just check, like, I mean, how many roles that is containing. But why are we not able to see this users roles?
It should come, no?
One second. See, 53 users are with ITIL role. So, I mean, see, this is like related list, okay? To be able to see the users inherit containing these roles or having these roles, you would have it under the related list. But the relationship, this is coming from the user table, if you see, right? And this is the role table. So that is why this is something called as related list. So we can make relationship between tables using the related list. So I will just when we are creating tables today, I'll take it to this as well. So is that okay with you now?
Yeah.
So
We were
see,
checking
you
for
could
this.
see you have to have one thing in mind, like, I mean, like, see, since now you were accessing user details, right? So there was no chance that you were able to see this. So you could always create relationship between tables and see. I mean, like, pertaining to this role, what will happen is it will fetch the record from all the user table having the users having this role. In our user table, we had some 700 plus users. If you see what will happen, it will go into the user table, it will check for this role, and it will populate only those records. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other doubts? Any other queries?
Pavani, if a user is not having any ITL role assigned to him, he cannot view the incidents for the queue, right?
No, he
Like,
cannot view the incident for the queue.
okay.
If you see, how you will not be able to see. Yes.
Yesterday we had tried, like, we had created a filter for a group. So we were trying initially for
Okay.
searching incidents, for a particular user
That's
without
why.
having.
See. Okay, incident. Okay, so that's why I see this one incident. With the reason I'm pondering over incident and custom app is because to make you different, to differentiate between things. What happened from the base system? That's from the base. Sorry, from our PDI. What happened? Out of the box, the incident was created. And also, if you see here, I went ahead to the application and I'm just clicking on the application. If you see here, this is specifically telling that see ITIL and SN incident read.
Nope.
Okay. See, of course, you and me haven't created this specific. We haven't edited the specific rules on the application model. This came out of the box. Yeah.
Oh,
So
oh
that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
I mean he wouldn't be having access to ITL. Now, if you would go ahead and create that you go ahead and create any random role, okay, and then try editing the roles in here. So
Okay.
automatically that user will have access to the incident application. Yeah.
And yesterday I had created a table, but it was not showing up in the application layout.
Okay. Did you check on the module?
Yes, yes. Even there also it is not popping up, but only in the table I can view the table created itself. But I didn't find anywhere.
Okay. If you could just share your screen, maybe another 5 minutes, we will just look into that. Okay. You
Okay.
should have created, and along with that, you would have had roles, right? Roles coming up.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So did you try adding any user with that role and try impersonating
Yes, yes.
with that user? And
Yesterday I tried, but it is not for that user also. It is not viewable.
is it so? Okay, then we will look into your instance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a small query here. Like I am not the ITIL user. Okay.
Okay.
But still, I am able to view incident application. Why?
It is the admin user, right? So
Yes, correct. I am the admin. And again, let me tell, you might be wondering, I mean, like, even admin will have so many roles. If I'm giving admin role to somebody, admin will have so many roles. If you see, I mean, like, inherits roles. So even admin will have so many roles. And one more thing is that whenever you give any role to any user, okay, you
Okay.
first go into that role and verify if it doesn't have any admin related roles, like just to be able to see how many roles that it even contains and verify. I mean, like, even on ITIL, right? There are ITIL. I have not come across, I mean, like, removing any other child roles, but uh, for any other, they will probably say, like, go ahead and create a custom table with that specific custom role, okay? And then
Okay.
they will say, go ahead and add ITIL also to that role. So in that case, you shouldn't be adding ITIL role to the custom role we have created. Rather, we will go to the ITIL role and add the probably. Will I go to the ITIL role and add the users, or will I go to the group and add the users?
We'll go to the group, and if we are adding for
Add the
multiple,
users. Yes. So what will happen the moment? So these 10 users that they are having the custom role and want to be having the ITL role, they will have. What will happen the moment if I start adding the ITL role to our custom role? What if I do that way? Any guesses?
Tony, can you repeat the question once again? Like,
What I have a custom role created with a table. Okay. I
okay.
have a requirement saying that create a custom role, and specific, for example, for 10 users, give that custom role.
Okay.
Also, I want to be able to give ITL role to those users. Now we came upon agreement saying that yes, we will go ahead and give them the role, okay, the custom role, and we will go to the ITL group and we will add them the add the users there, okay. So
Okay.
automatically they will inherit ITL role. Now what will happen if I create in a custom role again? If I add ITL role, what will happen there? If I say add ITL, see here I can add ITL role. Now if you edit this to ITL also, I can add admin role. So what I'm saying, in my custom role, what will happen if I add ITL role? See, there is always you will be always able to add roles to another role.
Okay.
How you will do that is you will you'll come to the contains role, and there you will be able to edit it. If I edit, if I say edit, what will happen? It will show me up the roles that are existing in the system, and I'll be able to add the roles, just like our form layout and the slash bucket. If I say new role, it will prompt me to create a new role. Okay. So my
Okay.
question was, what will happen to our custom role if I go ahead? Imagine this is a custom role. Okay. Let's
Okay.
say this is a custom role, and
Okay.
we have created. I have created a group, and there I have given a custom role, and
Okay.
I've gone to the ITL group. I've added these users in this custom role. I have added to the incident management group. So automatically they will inherit ITL role. But what will happen in our custom role if I give ITL role? Automatically this custom role also will inherit this ITL, right? So no matter what, if I directly start giving any user with this custom role, he'll also inherit the ITL role as well. So he'll be
Okay.
able to see everything, like incident problem change. He'll be able to view the reports. He'll be able to pull check the SLAs, notification A to Z, right?
Yes. Yes.
Is it confusing?
No. 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 No.
So whenever we are adding users, that's why I said whenever we are adding users to a role, we put the role to a group, right?
Okay. Yes, yes.
And if so there is already existing incident management group. So if I want to be able to add any other 5 additional users to that group, so giving what is the best practice? Is it giving them the role is the best practice, or adding them to the group is best practice?
Like if they are working with the same group, then we can add them to the group, and if they are adding to another group, then we
Yes,
like
correct.
any like
Yes, you are right.
both are the same, right? Like if they are in anyways, they are able to grab the role. But the additional thing is that if you are not adding them to this group, they will not be able to view the queue of this particular group. Like if they are not working for this particular group, they will not be able to view the particular group tickets and all alerts and notifications.
Correct. So I want to add incident role to the group. So which group do I go to? Yes, I'll give them the incident management group, right? I'll be able to add them to the incident management group, right?
Yes, yes.
So what I am saying is, so for any of the custom role that you have created, let's say the table that you have created, what was the name of the table? Midin, what was the name of the table you had created? Just for an example purpose.
Like snow support team, like snow support.
Okay, snow support team. So you have we have created a table called so snow support team, and we will be able to look into only the the snow support request. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I say that okay, I want also these users. So what we would have given them is we would have created a group called Snow Support Team, and that's how
Yeah.
we are also able to assign the tickets to them, right? So we
Yes,
are
yes,
giving them the custom role. Now I
yes.
say let's let the Snow Support Team also have the ITIL access. So in that case, what I will do?
We will add the ITL role to the particular group.
Exactly, that's it. So any questions around this?
No.
Okay. And any other thing that you came across, like creating applications and any other thing?
While creating table under access control list, we are having some accessibility view, for this application and global application view. We didn't get what exactly the meaning of that particular table.
I just showed you up the role. So once we create the tables, I will take you through ACL. ACL is another but at least it will take at least 1 hour topic. So I want to be able to take it through that. Now
Okay.
you had issues with accessing the table on the application navigator, right? So I'll make you the
Yes.
presenter. Can you just show me what's happening there?
Yeah, Pavani, I had just checked now and I had granted the role to the particular user, and and it is visible on the application pane, like application
Okay,
navigation.
okay, okay. Okay. So any other queries apart from
Pavni,
this?
can you pose again from where you got that user option? I just missed it.
You go to role, any role,
Right.
okay, in your system. Under under the record, you have related lists. So
Mm-hmm.
this is another form. Today, it's very much important for us. Today it is very much important for me to take you to the form and show you all the form elements. So and after that only we'll create a table because. So you go to the related list. If you see here, you go to the related list. How you will configure any related list is again what. How will you configure anything on the form?
Configure.
Configure form
And then
Correct. Configure form. If I want to bring up any form fields, I'll do.
form layout
from layout.
Yeah.
Okay.
In this case, I did,
related.
Related list.
and from in the related list, I picked what?
User.
User.
Users.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's what. Today we will go through the form sections, okay, form elements, and then if I'm saying go to the related list, get this, go to the form layout, configure this new field, or go to the form, configure this view. We'll do this, and we will create the table in the end of the session. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, any other queries?
So, Mithun, we had one question, right, related to request raised via service portal. Why can't we change the table name? Something like that.
Like, can we
Yes.
change the table name for any other? Suppose if you are creating a request for another, created by some other members or anything, so can we change the
Okay.
table name by going to the particular table
What
and
was the what was the table name? It was SC underscore request or requested item.
like we had requested something from service portal and we checked the request which came up in the EDI. So if I under that we had seen that the particular table name and we had opened the particular table.
Yeah.
So can we
The tables that you, yeah, no. What I'm saying is, what was the catalog item that you saw?
We didn't request for anything. It was related to some issue which we had raised.
Okay, see, what happens is, in the front end, right? Now I'm creating some label name called accessory list. So in the front end, if I want to be able to, if I want to make the end user to be able to raise a request for accessory list, what will happen is I should create a record producer. Record producer is nothing but I should be able to create tables on that specific row, on that specific table itself. Okay. So whatever other things that you see, these are catalog items. Okay. Let me tell you. This catalog item, what will happen? No matter what, it will get the records created only in the request table. Now, if I say developer laptop Mac, right? So what will happen if you see this here? Let's go to this table and in maintain items, let's see what this is. Is it a record producer or Mac? It is a catalog item. Okay, here you will be able to see that it is a catalog item. Okay. What will happen, no matter whatever the request that I raise on this portal, okay, it will always go to the request table only. Because what will happen, in the request table, an item will get generated and the task will get generated. But in my case, I don't want the request to go to the default request table. So in that case, I will create record producers. Okay. So again saying, I mean, the request management is altogether, I mean, like, only after we configure application in the backend, we will go to the request management table. Yeah, sorry, request management module. Yeah.
okay.
So by default, I'm sure by default you would have seen request SC, is it SC underscore request table that you saw? I mean, if you could recall.
It's something
Okay, I
starts
mean,
or something.
something starts with.
CCR, CCR.
If you can just probably
We clicked on
eh,
service catalog and then we clicked on departmental services.
Hardware, I guess.
departmental service. Okay.
Service
Service
category request.
request. Okay.
Yeah, and filled it. Yeah.
We had assigned a particular incident for a group which we created here, and just we had
Okay. Just giving me an error. Hmm? What is the CC or
and
this
in
is
the P.
again this is not a system let's come about that error later. But this is not the request item record. Okay. Now if I go ahead, if you don't know anything in the system, we don't know where that is coming from, we'll copy that and we'll search it on the global text. Remember, I told you whatever you want to be able to search, you will search. So let's see what's here. Departmental group. So it is service category table. That service category table. Table name is finance task. So this is again a is this a record producer or catalog item?
It is a catalog item.
No. See, catalog. I mean, like if you, I mean, like, see, there is a procedure that what will happen is anything that I request, right? Anything that I request in the from the organization, if I say it has to be a catalog item, what will happen is anything that I submit from the portal, right, will get created in the request table. Okay. That request will have a requested item. Now let's suppose I as an end user, I'm joining the organization. So I'm creating the request for laptop, and a few other hardwares like headset and everything. So what will happen under one request? I will go ahead and raise 5 items like laptop, see, monitor, mail account, and corporate VPN and desktop setup. Okay. What will happen? The moment I raise that, it will become as a request and it will by default, it will get stored in the request table only.
Okay.
Okay. The moment I see, the reason we are having this as request is because what will happen? The moment we have this request created, and for all these items, we have separate requested item number. If you see, under one request, I can request for these many things, right?
Okay.
And each of them will have a task generated under them. This is the flow. This is the flow in the system. Okay. It can have a task generated in the system, or it could have also an approvals being generated. Okay. This is, see, the moment I go to an organization, it's not, people without verifying anything, they will not give me up any other assets, right? They need to have my manager's approval and so on, or somebody also will be able to raise a request for me, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
what will happen if I say that I want to, I want these as a catalog item, then you think that it is going to the request table only. No matter what, if you create any catalog item and if you raise a request to that, it will go to the request table only. But
Okay.
if I create, so now I don't want my accessory list to be a catalog item. I want it to be a record producer. Why a record producer? Because I want to be able to create request on that access request table only, not on the
Service request.
exactly, not on the service request. So that's why I say I want to create a record producer. Now in your case, what will happen? In our case, what will happen is we will have clients saying that create custom application and it should be accessible from the backend. And it also, I'm happy that you guys went through portal and you saw something. I'm really happy about it. So what they say is create a custom application. See that I want the users to be able to raise requests from the backend. I want users to be able to raise requests from the front end. In that case, what I will do? Front end means portal.
Okay.
So in that case, what I'll do? Will I create a catalog item? Will I create what?
We will use record producer.
Yeah, exactly. Why a record producer?
So the request will come up under a particular table, like other than service request.
Yes, correct. Other than service request. I don't want one who's working on my accessory list to go to the request management and see. No, that is not my concern. They should always go to the accessory list table and they should be able to work on those tickets. So it's a record producer, right? Okay. Yeah. So after creating custom table, my agenda was to go to the front end and create request and take it through the catalog item record producer. First, we'll create the things in backend. We'll see how it is working. Only then, see, there is also one more thing, right? If I create record producer, I should also have all the details from there to be mapped to the specific details in here, right?
Yes.
So so if I want to directly go ahead and create a record producer, I need to be able to store that somewhere in the backend. So without creating anything in the backend, will I be able to go ahead and directly create record producer?
No.
So that's why I said our primary agenda for any application that we build will be to create a table.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Now,
Avni,
yes.
I'm sorry, but then I'm just getting confused in between this record producer. I mean, I'm fine with catalog item, but then the record
Okay.
producer is a bit.
See, I mean, like I see. Let's consider I have created an accessory list table. Now that accessory list table will have additional requests, like if I want to have access to my data cards, or maybe let's say routers. I don't have in the request. Okay. So what will happen? I want those requests raised from the front end. That's from the portal. Raised from the portal only come from should only be mapped to my accessory list table, not to any other request table. So in that case, what will I create?
Record producer.
Single record producer here.
Exactly. The name record producer itself, with the name itself, you can understand that, right? I mean that I want to be able to create in a specific table. So don't get confused again. See, let's randomly create. Let's consider I have created accessory list table. Okay, I also want to create accessory list as a record producer. For now, I don't have that table. I'll just show how will it come. This is loading. Okay. Do you see this table name?
Yeah.
What will happen? The moment I choose any table in here, and if I do all the setup, and if somebody raises a request in the front end, what will happen? That request or that record will get created in this table.
Right.
Alright. So in our case, it will be accessory list table. I don't have the table now, but I'm saying in our case, it will be accessory list table. Okay. So what happens now whenever you are creating a catalog item, okay, I'll tell you the table that you have to go to create catalog item when we are coming to the request management table. I'm creating a new catalog item. Let me say I want to be able to create the accessory list only. Do you see somewhere that if you are able to choose the table?
No.
Why?
By default, it will go to the service catalog table.
Service
It was
request table.
yes.
Request table. So what happens, Vanshika? Anybody requesting anything by default, it will go to the service request table only. It will not to go to our desired table. Yes. Understood?
I mean, again, I got confused. Why we are doing it through catalog item?
We are not doing it through catalog item. In our case, we are doing it through record producer. Catalog item, I'm saying is it will see catalog item. It will directly go to the request management table. Like we default by default we have incident problem change, right?
Yeah.
Yes. By default we have incident problem change, and Same way, by default, we have something called as request table. Okay.
Right.
So for any catalog item, for any catalog item, no matter what, here under you took this as the this thing, right? In hardware, see, I have so many things in hardware. Okay, right from Apple products to A to Z sales, laptop standard, Samsung, and everything. So if I raise a request for all the 9 of these catalog items, what will be the table that the record will get created at?
Catalog request
Request
table,
table,
no?
right? Yes.
Yeah.
People will pick up from that request and go, right? They will work.
Mm-hmm.
So it will
Right.
not be able to differentiate. Not specifically, I should create a table in the backend for this, because what's happening is this will remain only in the front end.
Mm-hmm.
The request for these can be raised only in the front end. So that's why I have something called as a request table. And by default, no matter whatever the request that you raise from here will go to the request table. But in my
Right.
case, I don't want that to happen. I want to segregate. And specifically one more thing is, I want somebody in the backend also to go ahead and raise a request for that. So in request, there is no way that you are going and raising a request in the backend. No. What will happen? It is always requested at the front end. When I say front end, it is what?
Uh,
Catalog
portal.
item.
Portal.
Okay.
Portal. Front end
Okay.
means portal. Backend means
Table.
native UI. Okay. Yes. I told you, right? User interface.
Yes.
So what will happen? I want in my accessory list, I want agents also to create requests on somebody's behalf. Okay. So my accessory list also should be visible in the front end, and user can go ahead and raise a request on their behalf. So for
Yes.
that, I should be able to have some table, right, in the backend. Correct?
Yeah.
So if someone's raising a request from the front end, what by default it should go to where, Anshika?
If someone is raising a request via front end.
Front end for my accessory list request, for the accessory list request. So what should we create?
So are we doing it for these items?
No, these items you don't consider. I don't have accessory list as an item here, but
Okay, yeah.
consider this as
Then
an
it'll
accessory
go
list.
to
Yeah,
record producer.
exactly. By the name itself, you will want to. I mean, by the name itself, you can understand. Record producer means I should be able to create a record in the specific table,
Table.
in the target table. In request, in catalog item, you don't have anything as such. You have no feasibility to choose a table, because by default it will get generated in the request table. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
See, request management, we will come back to, we will again get into depth when we are creating the request in the front end. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Any other things?
Nothing, Pavel.
Okay. So form elements. Okay. This is main thing I want to take you through, and then we will start creating tables. Now, form elements, I said, just a refresher. Don't think that I'm testing you guys. Just a refresher. What is this?
List view.
List view of?
Table.
Incident.
Exactly. Table. Yes. If you see in the URL only, it is saying incident, right? Incident is a table. If it says underscore list, means it's a list view, right?
Yes.
So what is
Yes.
this?
Form view. Form view of a
Form.
particular
Yes. Yes. And this is one specific.
incident.
Incident.
Yes.
Record.
Correct. correct, incident record. And see, one thing that I want to, so incident is, it is displaying information about one, this form is displaying information about one incident
Record.
record, right? So I mean, like, yes, so who will be able to, for incident, who will be able to create and raise a request or work upon the request
Any
in the
person
backend?
ITIL role can.
ITIL role.
Yes, correct. And if I want to if I want to say if I want to say that I want to be able to add a new field that is not there in the incident, then where will I go?
We need to configure the form and we need to configure the field particular.
Form layout. Yes, from form layout. And form design, through form design also we can create the records, or we can we can create the fields, and we can go about the form layout. That is the advanced UI. Okay. So while creating tables, I'll show the difference. Like, we'll create few fields through form layout and few from form design. I'll show that one as well.
In form
And
design, reordinate the fields, right, according to the
yes,
design.
yes. In form design, what will happen is you can reorganize the field, but in form layout, you will not be able to do this.
Yes.
See, once I'll show how we are doing this. Okay. See, one thing is I will do through form layout. In form layout, you will not have, probably to say, you will not have, I'll take this in comparison. In form layer, probably to say, you will not have the view of this, how it is in the backend. See, if you see, everything will be one after the other,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
The same thing if you want to be able to see in the form design. Do you see this? I mean, somewhat you have the look and feel of the form in the form design only. Now, if we see right from here, incident to configuration item, we have, okay, let me just close this tab. See, number two, you know, I mean, like, I know this is a form, and I know where the fields are. Number two, configuration item. Yes, do I have the same look and feel?
Yes.
So it's like just drag and drop functionality. In form layout means I had to choose a field, I had to click the upper arrow to move. Now in this case, I don't want subcategory. I'm sorry, configuration item, and I'm removing it. And I want something like the probably I want assignment group and assign to in on the left hand side. For now, I don't have. Okay, for now in the form, I don't have these details in the left side of the form. It is in the right side. So when you say a drag and drop functionality, see, I just picked it here. See, you need to click on these dots that you see and drag it and put it here. Okay, but for now I don't want. I'll leave it as is there. Okay. So if I priority, now if I click a save on this, it is saving. Yep. Now if I just, whatever I do, if I don't see the changes, what should I do? I do a refresh, because this is all working on the web browser. So it needs a refresh, right? Do you see this now?
Yeah.
So had it been in the, Vanshika, any queries on this, or is it
No,
clear?
it's clear. Yeah.
Clear, right? Yeah, okay. So this is somewhat kind of an advanced UI. So what it does is, it gives me the look and feel of the form itself. And one more thing, if I want to be able to add any field, let's say I'm adding a field called test. Okay. I don't have anything as test. Let me see. I'll create a new field. I want to be able to add something as a text field, and I want to put it right across the under incident, or probably above short description. What I will do is, I will create. If you want to create a field, then you will type something from here. If you see, it is already giving me the list of fields that are present in the table. Okay. Now in my case, I want to add a new field. So I say I want to add something as string field. Do we have string field here? See,
Yes.
string field I have. There are two types of fields. One is full UTF. That is this comes with encryption. This is in the integration purpose. Now I want to add a string field. Okay. I'm creating a string field here. And if I want to add something like here, I will just see. Two clicks. I just gave two clicks. I don't want to do that. I want to create a string field. The moment I hit on string, if you see this, it is directly picking up in this section, right? In this field, what I will do, I'll say, if you come to, this is the settings on the field that you could do, or the configuration, the main configuration that you could do on this field. So I go to the this thing. So in string, I give the name as test. Okay, test details, something as such. I'll give the label, and I said one thing that name should be what? Should it be the? Is name should have a unique value or something as this? Because if I could have two different fields with test details, okay. But what is the case with name?
I
Any
think we can
guesses?
rename it. I think we can rename it here
We can
as you are.
rename it here. Correct. See, once again, now if I say, I don't want this now. Now if I hit string here and go here, it will automatically pick new string and it will say use string 4. I don't want to have something, let's say test. Okay. I want to change the value of it and I will say something as you test details. You test details. So this remains my backend name of this field. Okay, the type is string, default is this. Do you want this to be mandatory? Means without submitting, without adding a value in this field, you will not be able to submit a record.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want that to be mandatory? That is again, the UI policies. We'll come back to that later. The main difference that I want to show here by adding a field from form design and form layout is with the auto population of the backend value, if you see. Okay. Now I will create, let's go ahead and create this field. Okay. I don't want choices. This is just a string field. And I'm
So
saying,
Pavani, here we had renamed the auto-populated name, auto-generated name for this particular field. So if you are taking a new field another time, so it will take a string 5 or it will be
string
string
5 it would take. It would take
Okay.
string 5. It would
Okay.
take string 5. That's why I'm coming at it too. Now I want to show you the main difference that we have by creating a field in this form design and from the form layout. Okay. So if you see
And
this, yes.
read-only means that the field which cannot be editable by any user, right? So
Any user. It will not be editable by any user at all. Not even the ITL. If I say read only means it will not at all be editable by any user.
okay.
Okay. So let's go ahead and create this field now. See, it's saving up. Okay. And I do a refresh. Why it doesn't have that field here? Any
We got
guesses?
the we got the test field, right?
I'm sorry. We have the test field. But one more thing, there are chances that you will not be able to see few fields that you have created.
Okay.
Okay. And it could be because of the state also.
Okay.
There are chances that you will not be able to see those fields. In my case, if it was if it was mandatory or something else, right? So what it would have done is it wouldn't have created that field here because the state is closed and this is already being worked upon. So in that case, you always go ahead and see on the new field. You just see on the new record if you be able to see that these days. Now I want
And
to create test 2. Yes, Madhu.
is there any condition where
Yes,
we
Madhu.
can apply this particular new created field to only the incidents which are currently what assigned or in new progress? Like if you are creating, as you said, if you are creating any mandatory
Yes,
field.
yes, yes. We have that. We have that.
Okay,
Now there are. I want to be able to show this test instant. Test field when the status is about to close. It is getting closed. Okay, or resolved. So
okay,
in that case, what will happen is I will write an UI policy. UI
okay,
policy to say that this field should be visible when the state is resolved. Okay.
okay, okay,
So we have, you can do anything, no matter what, you can do anything. So there are two ways of doing this. One is through client script and one is through UI policy. I'll let
okay,
you know. See, you can
okay,
achieve the same functionality from two. So
okay,
this, whatever you do, right, whatever you do when on the form, before you submit, before I'm saying, before, if I put say result, and imagine I didn't have test field now here, and just for now, imagine you don't have a test field, and I have created a UI policy or client script, and I'm saying that I want this test field to be popped up when the state is in resolved. Okay,
okay,
what will happen? Before I do a save, whatever happens, whatever the form changes happens, right? It is all through the client side scripting.
okay,
Before a save, the manipulation, everything. Even this mandatory, it would either be mandatory from the field level that's coming from the task table. Okay. How you
okay,
see this is, there are three ways of seeing this. Okay. One thing is right click. I told you, if at all you want to be able to see any details on this table, what you do is you go to the,
dictionary.
yes. If it was label, it will only give me the label details. I'll just directly go to the dictionary. Like how we went for form layout and list layout, I want to specifically dig in the details for this field in the table, right? So
Yeah,
one thing, this color field would have been made mandatory from here.
okay,
Okay, so it is not mandatory from the task table. That's why it's not even mandatory here. So we
yes,
have some other UI policies running on this.
okay.
Okay, so that is one way of doing it. So I mean, like uh, so what do you feel is comfortable? We will create custom applications, we will do the client side scripting and then go on to the record producer, or we will do the custom application, go to the record producer, or do the client scripting. I prefer the first way. What do you say? I mean, so that it
Like
will be relatable for us.
yes, yes. Like which is the organized way that will be better for us to understand it.
Yeah, that's what, because what will happen now, if I create a custom table and if I show the entire functionality of our client side scripting in the back end, so when we are doing it in front end, you'd be able to help me while we are doing that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
so it
yeah.
will become a revision also.
Yes,
how
yes, yes.
how it happens. So there is always a way to create. And one more interview question they will ask. So I want to make a field mandatory. So I want to make this field mandatory with the status as resolved. I said to you there are two ways, right? What is that? That's client script and UI policies. Okay.
Yes.
Interview question is this. Which is the best way to make this field mandatory when the state is resolved? I would say the UI policy is, because what will happen is the first thing, see, whenever a form loads, right? See, one more thing. You just see this, observe this caller field. 1 minute. When I'm refreshing it, that asterisk will not be there. That star will not be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Once the form loads, yeah, and it settles down, we have this asterisk coming up, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
in
yes.
that case, whenever I execute, whenever the form loads, right, the first thing that loads is the UI policy,
Okay,
not the client script. So that's
okay,
why we will write UI policy, and in UI policy we don't have much of scripting. Only in client script we have scripting. Okay.
okay, okay,
This is a just interview question. I mean, like, what is the best way of making a field mandatory when the state turns to this? Or what is in one example was when the state was going to resolve, I made this mandatory. Now there is another scenario where my client says this should always be mandatory.
Okay.
So what will happen? Whenever the form loads in UI policy, we have a condition that whenever the form loads, we have test as mandatory. I could make test as mandatory, or I could probably even make right click and I will configure this dictionary. Okay.
Like configuring
And there,
dictionary another
yes.
way other than UI policy and client-side scripting, or
Yes, it is another way. See, in UI policy also, main agenda in UI policy is to make a field visible, read only, and mandatory.
yeah.
Okay. Main agenda is that. I'll
Okay.
pick up in UI policy from the from our table from that is already there in our incident table. I'm picking up UI policies. Okay. Field set to mandatory for all states. See, this UI policy is written on the incident table. So they are saying fields are set to mandatory for all states. In
Okay.
our case, what happened? I told you, right? The client script, the caller.
Yeah.
If I say caller, for now, caller is again asterisk. Mandatory means this star icon. Asterisk. This is
Yeah.
what the star icon is called as asterisk. Okay.
Yeah.
Through this, if it is there next to any other table, then try to understand it's a mandatory field. Without filling this, you cannot submit record. If I
Yes.
say without filling this, you cannot submit a record, I will just open -1. I'm just opening up a new record. So if you see this, I am not filling up any caller details and short description details. What will happen the moment I click on save? It will say, see, the following fields are not filled in: short description and caller.
Yes. Sir.
Yes, now I do a save. It wouldn't let me do. Only when I fill in some details on this, it would let me create a record. So I said UI policy, right? Field set. I said something must be running on this incident table. Some UI policy will be running on the incident table to make it mandate.
Yes. Yes.
So that is this. That is this. So UI policies we will create for our custom table. No worries. But this is just an information that I wanted to give you guys.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. And another thing is these are called as form header. From tomorrow we will create tables, and someone, either you or Mithun or Vanshika, will help me creating tables, and from
Okay.
there on I'll for the scripting part I'll come back. Yeah, so
Okay.
should that be fine, Vanshika?
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, one quick recap I'll give. So what is this called as? This is form, right? Whatever you
Yes.
see here, that's from the incident up to here, this grayed out portion, right? There, this is called
Header.
as form header. Form
Yeah.
header. Okay. And if I whatever I want to configure, I will go to the configure section and I will do. And these buttons that you see are called as UI actions. Okay. Update, resolve, delete. Do you see this?
Yeah. Yes.
These
Yes.
are called UI actions. Again, we will create UI action, but I'm just making you guys familiarize as to what is these are already there in the form, so that
Okay.
we will create it. We will create it. No, I just don't want to pitch into the direct topic saying let's go ahead and create your action, but I want to make you guys familiarize as to what we have existing in the table and how we can create new custom ones. Yeah. So
Okay.
these are called as UI actions. So what are these
Fields.
fields? And these are sections. Okay. If you see these notes, related records, resolution information are all sections in form. See, there could be one form, but I want the relevant details. Now I want the relevant fields to be put under one section. So I can configure a section and I can put those details. But again, all these are a fields only. Resolved by is also a field only. It is
Yes.
not anything specifically that we have to do. But we want to be able to segregate the information in the form by putting them to a related tabs. Okay, so these are form sections. You can create a form section. Now in our case, I just want to go ahead. Let me create one form section. Do you see this section here?
Yeah.
I will say I want to create a new form section, something as test, and I'll put the test details. I have created this section. Okay. Now, whenever you say this is the default view. So now in the test section, your form section, I will not have anything. So I will say I want the test details to be there in the test section. Okay. Now I click a save. I have this. Okay. But if you see, I have it here as well. Why?
Test is a field which we had added earlier, and now we had added.
Yes. So in order to remove that, you can go to the form layout and remove it. Okay. And one more thing, I remember, Mithun, I told you that I don't want, I want to be, I mean, regarding the name of the field in the backend that I said.
Yes, yes, yes.
So what happens if I'm creating any field in the, from the form layout, what will happen is, let's say I want to create something called as list details, okay? And that is a string. See, I am creating a new field with string type is this. Field length 40 means small means this is a string field, right? So in that string field, I'll be able to enter up to only 40 characters. Okay, that's why it says 40. There is a requirement. There could also be a requirement from client saying that create a string field with length as 100. So in that case, you choose what? Medium, large, and extra large. Extra large is like, you know, with, if you see, even description in incident table is also a string field. Okay, but this you can enter more number of characters here because of the field length. You're getting this? Any confusions? Nitin and Vanshika?
Yeah, Pavani, can you restart the creation by
Sorry.
from the form layout section? Like, can you recreate the field once again?
Yes, yes, I'll do that. So I'm recreating the field. I'm just saying for now, I'm saying it should have only 40 characters here. Okay, I put up the details here.
Okay.
So what will happen is
Okay.
list details. I'm just adding it here in the incident table and in the default
Section.
view. I add it. What will happen? The moment you add it, it will go here. Okay, what will happen?
Okay.
But I'll put this again under probably I'll put this again under assign to details only. So what happens? If you remember, I told you, right, we should be able to see the backend value of the field also. If you do that
Yeah.
through the form layout, you would not be able to see those details.
Okay.
Right? Now what will happen? It would have created a field. Okay, I'll close it. It would have created a field, and we don't know what is the backend value of this field. It would have created something random. See, you list details. Okay.
Okay.
In case if we had something called as there is a huge text, let's say, do you really want to configure this so and so detail? If so, why? Okay, there is a detail coming up. If I say in
Okay.
that case, I would have created a cable with that huge sentence, and also the backend value of that also would have come up with that huge sentence. Okay, so in those
Okay.
cases, it's always better to go ahead and create fields from form design. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Apart from this, there is one way to create a field also. Any guesses? With this, we'll wrap up. Apart from form layout and form design, there is another way to create a field in the this incident table? Any guesses?
Mm, From
I can
form design
create
and
from
form.
table also.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Got it, got it.
I can directly go ahead and create from table also. Okay,
Yes, yes.
and I will say something as type is again, I'll say string. Yes, and I will say this time it should be accessory details. So see here, the backend value will all automatically pop up. If I hit, just come back, and if you just hit enter, you click it here. See, it came up. Accessory details. This is the spelling mistake. Ignore this, but it's a spelling mistake. But I said something with you. If you remember what it is, you means anything that
Uh,
has a backend value as you means.
That is constant, right?
we had
Yeah, it's a constant. But what is the why has it been populated with this field that we have
it's a
created?
custom field.
Exactly.
Identifiers.
It's a custom field. Now, see, even the admin, even me as an admin, there are n number of fields in the system. I should be able to differentiate like how, I mean, I should also know, right, if it's come out of the box from the base system, or is it someone who has gone ahead and created. Remember today, I am one who's working for the Vodafone, but there are situations that I will leave, or maybe there are situations where other person also will work on Vodafone in future, right? On that specific application. So for him to identify, I mean, if is this something that the admin has created, or is this something that has come out of the box? For him to identify, there should be some uniqueness or some ambiguity, right? For him to identify that things. So that's why we always have this U coming up. So just to say that it is a custom field means that someone has explicitly created the field in this record, and it is not a table, and it is not come out of the box. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's put up this. Okay, I'll just create this table and with length as 40. So there are three ways to create field. Okay. When I mean that is again an interview question. They will say, okay, how will you create field? They would say a form layout or form design, and also they will ask you, or is it the only means that you would be able to create a field? Then you can say we can create from the table dictionary also.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. See, the accessory list details have come up, but I don't have some feasibility like that I had in the form design to directly drop it somewhere under any desired field. So again, I will
So
have to go to list form
now
layout
we
and
can
edit. Mhm.
reconfigure again, right? After creating from the table
Yes, yes,
dictionary.
yes, yes, yes. You can reconfigure. So this is two step, right? Like you created a field, you put up the backend value to it, and you have created somewhere, right?
Yes, yes,
But this
yes.
is two step. So that's why form design, I told you that it is like an advanced UI. The moment
Okay.
you create a field, you can put it wherever you want to put it, and you can save. The moment you do it, it will appear in the desired form or form section,
Yes, yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. And one more thing, if something is not working, if you even make a short, some in our case, let's consider. I have come across scenarios where I have created tables in the field from backend, and I even made it mandatory. Few scenarios, to be precise, what happened that mandatory was not picking up on the form layout, okay, not even from the table dictionary. But I deleted the specific field, and I tried to create it through the form design. I made it mandatory, so it worked. So always
Okay.
remember, if something is not working, try doing that in form design once, and then see if it's not still not working. Then we can go about verifying the other things. But the primary step would be to check if it is working from the form design UI. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions around this?
No problem. Problem.
No. And these are what? These are related lists. Related list means these are the records coming from a different table. If you see task SLA is a different table. Child incidents means it's from this incident table only, but records, different records, not the 001 will not come up. Some other records will come up. Okay. These are related list.
Bhavani, while setting up the field length,
Mhm.
if we select
Yes.
small, that is up to 40 characters, can we not amend it? Can we not change it to something like 20 or maybe?
Yes, you can do that. You can do that. How would you do that? I want to edit this field. How will I do that?
Configure
Right click on this field and
configure dictionary.
configure dictionary. Right. Here I'll put up the length. Okay. Or in my case, I'll put up 5 so that we validate it more. I'll put up 5. Okay.
Tawny, is there any fulfillment errors or anything in the service request generations or anything like that? Like we set a summary field to length. You can say like we can set it for 30. If the user, whenever he is requesting something with more than 30 characters, so is there
Yes.
any?
Yes. That's why we
Trouble?
do the list. See, in the backend, you will do it through the dictionary only. Okay. There is no
Okay.
other ways of doing it if you want to avoid scripting. Because see, I already have this functionality to do in the backend. Why will I write a script to it?
Yeah, yeah.
See,
Like
learning
like
scripting is learn.
like what I'm
Yes.
asking is like if the user is requesting some through module like service request module or something like that due to
Yes,
some
Midun, we
field.
could do that.
Yeah, like
We
it will
could do
come.
that.
No, no, I'm asking that it will come into troubleshooting steps or something like that, right? Like the request
Uh,
cannot be processed further like that. Is there any thing will come up
no,
or
what will happen is, see, it will not be a troubleshooting. What will happen is, if I have reduced the field length, right now, earlier this was 20. Now
yes,
I'm
yes,
entering something like, you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 I'm entering, 7 I'm entering, 8 I'm entering, 9. No, it is not taking.
yes, yes.
It is not taking above and beyond 5 characters. I'm trying to enter in. So what will
Yeah,
happen? The moment, see, I have this leverage to do it from the dictionary itself. So it is
yeah, yeah.
learning. You could achieve this in two ways. Either you do it from the dictionary or you do it from the script. Okay.
Okay,
Scripting is good to learn. One thing is scripting is good to learn, but you should always not put scripting. Whichever are feasible by just one click or from the dictionary level, you will do it there. Otherwise, what? I will have to come here. I have to write a client script. First, I have to fetch the details. Then I will see from the sixth character on. It should help. It should not accept. It should not
okay.
accept. Instead of doing this, I could leverage this in the dictionary entry itself, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, did that answer your question?
Yes, yes,
Or
yes.
so troubleshooting means we will not have troubleshooting to do. We will just have to configure the details, I would say.
Okay,
And one more thing, where all these things come into picture is, client will say that I want to populate I want to populate in incident. Let's suppose we have integrations happening. Okay, we don't know from which tool or from which user the incident came. I have something called as incident raised details. Okay,
okay,
so in that case, we would have, they initially they wouldn't have mentioned the length. They would have said like, go ahead and create a string field. So for
okay,
our purpose, we would have gone ahead and we would have created a string field with value as 40.
okay.
But if you remember, if you see in any email address, like not very often though, but you would have seen email addresses very with huge name before the domain, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
So in that case, what happens is, integration is happening. And in that incident detail list, I have that email coming up, okay? And that email is like, it has some 100 characters before the domain, like iatn.com and so on. So what will happen if I've set 40, right? It will first pick the first 40 characters and put those details there. And after that, it will not accept anything. So only the 40 characters will be visible. Not even the domain. Imagine we have 100 characters before the domain. Not even the domain it would have captured. It would have captured from 1 to 40 characters.
So in that case, if there is any notification enabled, the user will not get the notification, right?
Yes. So that's why we will come back and create that. This will be an R&D of the person who's working on the incident, because we
Okay.
would have built, we would have completed our build, we would have sent to the live instance, production instance, okay, because that
Yeah.
came as per the specification of client, so we are also
Yes.
not aware, right?
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
will be the R&D of the the guy who's working on the incident, on that specific ticket, saying that why, what, these details are not populated. Then you should be able to understand, okay, there's some validation happening in here, why it is only accepting. So then we'll go ahead and change the length.
Okay.
So see, it's not that always admin or developer will be under fault, okay? So it also sometimes depends on the requirements that the client gives
Yes. Yes.
initially. So it's like that, yeah. So any other queries for today?
So Pavni, this is for end user as well, right? So while they are creating
Mm-hmm.
any request or maybe any incident, so they
Mm-hmm.
won't be able to enter more than 40 characters or whatever field length we have set up, right?
Yes, yes. This is no. This is for end users as well. This is for end users
Yeah.
as well. Okay. You mean to say in the front end? That's in the portal?
Yeah, if they are raising a request via portal, they'll get a form, right? Like we
Via
got a
portal we
form.
have
If
a
they're entering,
via
let's
portal
say
we
for
have a different.
description or maybe short description. Okay, so they
Sure.
have to mention the description, right? That they can, I mean, whatever issue they are facing, and we have set up a short description field to say 40
So
characters.
that's what. If we say, like, if we say that we need to have the same functionality in the front end, we should be able to create a record producer, right?
Right.
In that record producer, because see, these fields will not come in the front end at all. We will
Of
create a
course.
specific field called description. So in the record producer end, see, in the forms end, all these are fields. From record producer perspective, again, I will create something called as description. That will be a variable from record producer perspective. Like how it is for table and form, I see table, number, open assignment, group assigned to are all what columns. Same thing
Right.
from perspective, from form perspective, it would be field. From record perspective, it would be variable. So we will have different validation running at the variable. So whatever I applied here, right, this is only up to the backend. For front end, I will have to write some attribute thing on the variables. So
Okay,
what
so
will
can we
happen if an
directly,
Mhm.
yeah,
So
directly click, I mean, right click and then select configure dictionary and set that field to whatever.
yeah, we can set it in the backend. This will work, but what I'm saying is in front end, this validation will not work. Like in the from portal, if you want to raise any request, right? In front end, it will not work. There is another way of doing it. See, front end validation, back end validations are again separate. Okay. Yes.
Right.
So now, for now, you don't get confused. We will recreate the same thing in the front end. Then it's better, it's better than me explaining if I show up something that is, with live examples, then you'll be able to understand. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
What you're saying is, now in description, I have a validation running in the backend. Now, supposingly a requester raise, and in description he puts more above and beyond 40 characters. So what will happen? There it will get captured. But while coming here, when it is pasting that details, right, only 40 characters will be pasted. Why? Because this has only 40 characters. There we don't have any restrictions.
Okay, so now if you put that restriction for backend, so
Mhm.
if someone is doing it via front end, so they'll enter
Mhm.
more than 40 characters, but
Mm.
then for backend, it'll only capture 40 characters, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's a
Correct.
drawback.
Yeah, that's a drawback. So that's why we will have those validation also running on front end. When we create a record producer, we will prompt the user saying that please enter only 27. Above and beyond this will not be accepted. So what will
Right.
happen? He will enter. There is this other way also. There is this. So if you remember, if for in there are some validations happening. Okay, for email address, it cannot be less than 40 characters. It cannot be less than 40 characters. Okay.
Right.
So what will happen? This guy will go ahead and he'll put up his desired name in front end, saying that 123 at so and so.com. So it's not 40 characters, right? So it will again
No.
then prompt him, please add up 40 characters if you put up that validation in front end. Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
tomorrow we will create the applications. We will go to the scripting and then we will create record producers and then we will see. Yeah, for the same tape for same custom app that we've created. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Any other queries? Oh, it's
Uh,
2020. Okay. Any other
nothing for
queries?
now. Nothing for
Only
now.
Okay. Yes. Nitin?
if like we are creating tables, right?
Yes.
And we are having particular role delegation for that particular table, and we are assigning the particular role to a particular group who is ever working on that particular,
Yes.
like as an admin, like he can the admin or developer can be accessible to the particular records in that particular table without
Yeah.
having any.
Yes. Yes. Admin, I told you, right? Admin is like the super user of the instance. He can see anything end to end in the instance.
Like
End to end in the instance. Yes.
in the table list
Mhm.
only he can view, or
He can view it here also. He can view it in the application navigator also.
okay.
Okay, you know why? If you say why he's not able to view it in the applicator navigator, because if you would have precisely put something under this, but I don't see we have anything. See, incident is application, right? But
Yes, yes,
for
yes.
it's in the favorite section. I don't want this. This is the headache with favorite. If you put anything under favorite, right, you'll not be able to edit the applications. See, we don't have here, to be very honest, we don't have something as admin also. But
Yes, yes.
still, as an admin, I am able to see. Why? Because I am the super user, I will be able to see anything. But in reverse case, if I had put only the roles as admin, do you think these users will be able to see this application?
No, because
No.
under
Yeah.
admin ITL is a part of the role. Like for admin, ITL role is
I
also failed role, right?
yes, yes. Admin means he can see end-to-end details in the system. That's
Okay.
why they say don't give admin role. By mistake, also don't give admin role to anybody.
And yesterday, as per the requirement, like only some tables need to be accessible by admin. So in that case, the role of the table
Mhm.
we need to delete the role that created automatically while creating, and we need to put the admin role over there, right? The table will be
Exactly. Exactly correct. That's right. The moment you would have created the table, right? You have that role created as part of the table. What I said, I
yes,
want only admin guys to go ahead and you should, yeah, that's right. Correct. Approach
yes,
is correct.
yeah.
Uh, any other queries?
No, no, not having it.
Okay. Okay.
Nothing for
Then
now.
we'll meet up tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Bye. Bye. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.